So we've been to many of our job sites. A lot of you have seen plenty of pretty pictures of everything. We want to get a little bit in the behind the scenes, the front end work, the planning and designing part of building a home. So when hiring a contractor, especially nowadays with the market like it is and sort of spec building slowing down, unfortunately there's a lot of builders that don't do custom houses probably willing to take on a custom house, right? And it's important to know who you're hiring. At Axis, we only do custom homes. We don't build spec houses, we don't do additions, we don't do remodels, we don't, change out water heaters, whatever. We do one thing and we try to be the best at it. So when a client hires Axis, typically they'll have an idea of what they want. Sometimes they'll have land, sometimes we help them find land. But ultimately we try to establish a house plan, whether that be one that they find online, one we work with an architect to have drawn. So we get that plan and then we go over sort of general selections as far as, we want all brick and we want granite countertops and we want hardwood floors. And we keep that information pretty vague, but we get some information to give a rough budget. So we give them that first rough budget, and then if they want to move forward from there, we decide on that and sign with them, and they get on our schedule as far as their start date. Typically 4, 6, 8, 10 months out. It just kind of depends on the current market. But at that point, they would start working with our design team to really dig into planning this house. And through that, we can get more information in order to write them a specific budget that reflects those design selections. So you may say that you want a tile shower, but I have no idea how much to budget for that shower until we know, more specifically what tile. Are we spending 99 cents a square foot on tile, or are we spending $19.99 a square foot on tile? All these things add up and make a big difference in the overall cost. Part of our design process also includes 3D renderings of the home. So we'll take your plan, take your selections, and make a 3D rendering of the home that's photorealistic. It's about as close as you can get to the real thing. A lot of people have trouble envisioning what the choices they're making are actually going to look like in the end, and this helps to streamline that and make sure we're all on the same page. We can do a whole 360 view of the house. We can see how every decision impacts everything, and then everybody's on the same page from start to finish. And so, unfortunately, a lot of contractors will just have a 2-hour conversation with you, get some brief information, put together a budget, and you begin construction. You trust them. Then you find out along the way that they don't know what you want, and they didn't budget it correctly, and that's where the horror stories of, my budget's blown and I'm 100,000 over, and all these things come into play. The better planning we can do, the better success we'll have during the build, and ultimately the better success we'll have with the budget. All these things are very important. With Axis, the end result, the house itself, is obviously very important to us, but the process from start to finish with the client is just as important. Are we doing our job with the budget? Are we doing our job on the design? Are we keeping all these tasks in order for our clients? Are we giving the client as much information as possible, whether that be, monetary information, design information, logistics information? They need to be in the know on these things to make informed decisions for their family. We want them to have as much information as possible so that they know the outcome of every decision they make and how that's going to affect the overall cost of this home. So again, when you're hiring a contractor, whoever it may be, make sure that they're doing the front end work. Building a house is just one small part of this. Obviously, we want to be able to build a good quality house, but the process, the design, the planning, all needs to be of the same quality.